Blast Layer 2 currently offered this year for all Web3 builders, especially those working with non-fungible tokens, whether it is NFT 1.0, NFT 2.0, also known as smart, financial, dynamic, or programmable NFTs. Thank you all for being here. Big thanks for everyone watching this recording on YouTube. Please like and share if you find it useful for the community. Also, we will share this content, I hope, in form of text, tweets, video from this meetup in the Blast community. So all the Blasters will inevitably listen and read for that. So you understand the responsibility of what I'm going to say today. Let me thank first our distinguished guest projects. They are Tornado Blast, Ignite Finance, Blast Futures, MetaStreet, and Blitz for their responsiveness, openness, and readiness to share their thoughts about Blast ecosystem and their contribution to it. Dear speakers, we are eager to learn how satisfied you have been with building on Blast, your project ideas and values, ask your questions, and hear your thoughts and answers, which are extremely, I underline is, underscore, extremely valuable for us. So do not hesitate to share maybe your secrets, your cheat codes, and so on and so forth. Not general, but in nuances. We will highly appreciate that. As you might know, one of the most anticipated things regarding Blast is their airdrop. Yesterday, these guys announced that it is postponed on June 26, so the airdrop allocation will be increased as compensation for the delay. Thank you guys for Blast. Also, they announced that there will be 2 final DApp gold distributions before the airdrops. This announcement very easy to find on Blast Layer 2 official Twitter. Let me note that this meetup is supported by Envelop, a protocol for programmable assets at NFT Oracle, which has already been implemented, if I'm not mistaken, Alex, please correct me if I'm wrong, on 15, I'm not wrong, 15, 10 plus 5, 1 and 5 chains, including Blast, of course. It is based on DAO principles, so Envelop is a DAO, and if you are not part of our community yet, please follow Envelop's resources. We are absolutely everywhere on social media, wherever respectable distinguished Web3 project must have been. For more information or ask any questions in Telegram or Discord, we are a warm community of long-term Web3 enthusiasts and even professionals who are passionate about programmable assets and smart NFTs, and we warmly welcome any interest in this idea from you. So thank you everyone from DAO Envelop team for your contribution today in this event. I'm very proud to be a part of the team, and Alex, a generous member of DAO Envelop, who is already online, will be delivering his speech in a couple of minutes when I will have finished my intro. This meetup is also powered by Mice.io, a proof of event service for Web3 event organizers. It allows the creation of smart NFT tickets and soul-bound tokens, or SBT, as you might know, for on-chain reputation. We are especially love the concept of on-chain reputation invented by our advisor, Vladimir Menoskop. Vladimir, you are a great guy. Attendees of the meetup have already, I hope, experienced this in action by buying smart NFT tickets. Thank you for using it. We appreciate your feedback of how are you satisfied and now with the service. And during this meetup, we will send you a link into the chat for a Google form where you can provide your Blast wallet address, and we will then send you on this address a soul-bound certificate in the form of soul-bound token as proof of event that you have attended this event. This is how it works. Dear participants, if you have any questions for the speakers, please do not hesitate to write them in this chat using the hashtag question. Mention, please, the speaker's name or his project to indicate whom your question is directed to. This as you understand, will help us to find the question, not to lose it into the chat messages, and get the correct and right answer from the speaker. And if you plan to organize an online event and would like to provide proof of event services like smart NFT tickets or soul-bound tokens as on-chain reputation for your attendees who might expect your event to be a true Web3 event, please consider using mice.io service for that purpose, and just let us know if you are ready to discuss details. Finally, the simple meetup agenda is in the chat. Dear speakers, you know your time slots. Please distribute your time inside your slot between the speech and Q&A as you like. I will be announcing your names, projects, controlling timing. I am MC. The timing is must have for me, and we'll be reading questions in the chat. So I think that's all with the intro. And Alex, if you're ready, let's start with you. Alex Shedagubov, the Genesis member of DAO Envelop, and Joseph from Tornado Blast. Joseph, if you're with us, please get ready to be the next after Alex. So Alex, let me check, is your video working well? Say something. Let's check your sounds.
Yeah. Check.
The stage is yours. You have 5 minutes for warm welcoming speech.
Yeah, so for us it's a kind of big day, and thanks to all the projects who came to talk about their wonderful things that they are application, and we've chosen altogether the Blast to be where we deploy, and it's a new chain, and we see it's developing real fast. And the main intention of us is here to show that we in Web3, and here we need to store everything maximum on chain, and everything that we made should work for us in the future to form a kind of our social capital. And that's why we use the platform ICE. It was organized by DAO members based on Envelop protocol and Oracle, and it's designed to hold such meetups and bigger events. Not long ago, there was like all-time hub by 4 o'clock held on the platform. And here, as Eugene mentioned, you have a wide range. You can use NIFTSY tickets, reputation models, and gifts. Yeah, and especially why we are here as Envelop DAO, why we choose Blast, and why we apply our efforts. I think it's one of the chains where we try to show our maximum in the terms of presence and technical delivery, because the chain was in genuine design for NFTs, and it comes from Blur. And we, as Envelop, we've been building this programmable digital assets in the form of NFT, and here we see wide range of applications for our tools that we've developed, our protocols, and there are tens of use cases you can find when you take the protocol and Oracle, which is already applied in Blast. And now I think it's maybe one of the crucial things in Blast, not so many oracles and who are specialized on NFTs, like gathering the info about the transaction, their attributes, and some special things that we deliver, like in terms of economical setups, like we have Envelop, like programmable assets, and what are they programmed, how they behave, all the things can be get from the oracle we provide. So that's it. I think we can start. Joseph, yeah, if you're ready, just take the scene and go.
Thank you, Alex. Joseph from Tornado Blast, my friend, are you here with us? Do you hear us? Do you see us? And you may join with your video and your sounds. I see you in the list of participants. Joseph from Tornado, join us. Turn on your video. Okay, no problem. Joseph is coming into 1 minute. And by the way, let me thank that Yuri has just dropped a message with the link where we collect your Blast wallet addresses for sending finally your SBT or soulbound token certificates, which will be the proof of events. So Joseph are with us. Joseph, great to see you.
Nice to meet you.
I'll be all right. Okay, so the stage is yours. You have 15, more than 15 minutes, up to 18 minutes. So divide into your speech and Q&A. So the stage is yours. Please rock.
Sure. Thanks a lot for having me here today. Glad to cross your path again. We did like a podcast already together. So yeah, I'm the co-founder of Tornado Blast. To make it simple, Tornado Blast is the leading trading bot on Blast right now. So basically, we are giving you tools to trade directly from the Telegram interface, and we're trying to get the best tool to use. So basically, right now, what you can do with Tornado is in just a couple of clicks, buy from all the dexes on Blast with the best liquidity. You can find new token, you can place limit orders on all the dexes, etc. We do an abstraction of all the complexity of owning a wallet, signing transaction, etc. So basically, you simply have to copy and paste an address of a token you want, and from it you can place limit order. We will make sure that you'll get the liquidity from the best dexes. So we'll make sure that we'll check all the dexes, get the best quote for you, and do an abstraction of all the signing transaction, all of the gas fees, etc. We also have a sniping feature, which is very interesting, especially during bull markets and the blast season that's coming up. So basically, what a sniper feature is basically, you know that this token is going to launch, and we will buy it as soon as the liquidity is available. So, you know, if you are first buying a token, most of the time you're making money. So our goal here is like making sure the transaction is as fast as possible. We'll watch the whole blockchain, and make sure that you are the first buyer. So this is the trading tool that we have right now. We have done like, I don't know, probably like 50 million of volume so far, 15,000 users, a lot of gold distributed already. Not only we give you the tools to trade, but we also have something very interesting, I think, for everyone listening here. If you're looking for token to buy, because that's basically here the trick. It's like, are the tool great, and what are you buying? Are the token great or not? So we have like a gem finder. We call it like this. So we scan the whole blockchain. We will check for the most profitable trader on all the bots. So not only on Tornado, but also on other bots on the chain. And if some very profitable traders are buying the same token, then we get the data, we get the leaderboard, and we display the list of tokens that are currently hot. So it's not like only a hot token to buy, but it's actually what smart people are buying right now. So I just like to give you an indication. We have a lot of things coming up, so that's what we've built so far. Like I mentioned, we achieved to become number one on the chain. I think like for the past couple of days, we had like probably like 90% market share amongst the bot traders. And right now we're working on a lot of new tools. So we are working to integrate some perpetual. So very soon you'll be able to trade. It's a little alpha, but you'll be able to trade Wasabi perp directly from Telegram. So shorting and longing some meme coins. Something also coming up very soon, but this is like very early for me to talk about it, but it's basically allowing you to launch token in one click with a bonding curve. So basically you'll be able to launch a new token without any development skill and without mostly liquidity needed. So just $3, you'll be able to launch a meme coin very easily. So that's coming up. But yeah, that's basically what we've been building so far. We've been one of the first team to build on the chain. That allowed to win the big bang competition a couple of months ago. We still have a lot of gold to distribute so far to get gold from us. To make it simple, it's just like activity based. So depending on who we have like a referral program, depending on your trading activity. We have like some loot boxes that you can open with like a gambling factor if you want to get more or less points. We have a strike every day. So if you come back and do like a little trade, no minimum required, you have a multiplier that is increasing every day. So if you come every day, you can make like way more gold than someone that will come only like once every 2 weeks, etc. But yeah, that's where we are right now. We have a growing community. So if you like to trade meme coins, if you want to talk about like tokens in general on Blast, just join our Telegram chat. People are very welcoming there, and we're making sure to push every updates on Twitter. So make sure to follow us on Twitter. And if there is something you want as a trader, and if there's a tool that you think will be beneficial for everyone, just send me a message and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, that's basically all for Tornado. Keep in mind the best trading bot on Blast, getting you a lot of rewards. We have a token coming up too. Just basically give you like a centralized exchange experience on decentralized exchanges, and making sure that you have like a hedge compared to other traders that are not using trading bots. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Like, do you have a hedge compared to like other people on the chain? What kind of tool will you be first buying the token, or the limit order that you are placing is going to go through, etc. We're making sure that you got the right tools and also the right information at the right time.
I think yeah, finished the core talk. Let me ask some questions from you. So, guys, yes, and I encourage you to write questions for Joseph. And the first question we have already gotten from Alex from Envelop, Genesis member. So he asks, trading from Telegram, which we have already been for now, did make you to came for compromise with functionalities, or haven't been cuts in comparison with full web interface? The question regarding why you have chosen Telegram, which I asked you on a podcast, please could you clarify why have you chosen this messenger for creating body side, not the full web interface?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question, because like you have some limitation when it comes to like using a UI in Telegram, of course, but there's also in simplicity compared to, let's say, if you have a web app. And you have to connect your wallet, etc. It's not that smooth. Here you can like write a token address, come back like 2 minutes after writing this address, just press click. It's very easy. Telegram, in my opinion, is a good way to reach to crypto native people. Like we can see it right now, like everyone is on Telegram. So it's very accessible. And also, I think it can bring some easy to use functionality compared to using a website directly. Like the way that, for example, using Tornado, you don't have to bother with the wallet, for example, because everything is connected to your Telegram ID. So you are authenticated this way. That means that you can place limit order, you can buy, you can trade, etc., without never the need to sign in or to authenticate. So that's a massive advantage. And also something that we because we're trading ourselves on this kind of bot for quite some time, there is a massive community on Telegram, Twitter and Telegram. People will like have groups together. They will send some token to each other, etc. So it's already a place where people are debating about token in general. And so we have already all of these bots when you can, for example, copy paste an address of a contract, and some bots will give you information about this token. And then we have a link to Tornado. So it's very seamless from the experience, from where you find the token, when you source the knowledge, to where you buy. It's in the same place, same authentication, very convenient to use. So that's why we should. So yeah, there's some limitation with Telegram for sure, but the offset. The advantage of using Telegram offset definitely some of this complication, I'll say, and you have to be creative, and we spend like so much time just trying to be creative on how you can make a good user experience using buttons, which is not like a UI. Let me know if you think that we did a good job there, or if we need to improve some stuff. But it was really fun to like tweak the boundaries of what you can do actually within Telegram, and only using like text messages and display. So for example, something like very little that we did, but you have a pagination for your token balance. That's something that, I mean, it hasn't been done in the past, but like it's just tweaking and trying to find a way to have the same functionality, if not even better than a web app, but directly with Instagram. And what we can see is like, especially for trading small cap tokens, people are asking for like Telegram interface.
Well, what is the flow of user experience? What let me ask you, what steps should everybody to undertake? Step 1, step 4 to start working trading with Tornado BlastBot, where to go, what to do?
So very easy. Just send message to Tornado BlastBot. That will open up the bot here. You can transfer some fund. Either we'll create a wallet for you. If you want, you can import another wallet. You can send some funds directly on the wallet. We have a bridge, one-click bridge, very cheap from Ethereum. Also, see if you want to fund from there, and then it's just fun from here. So you can either get information from the gem finder. You can search from your token on Twitter. You can join some group, etc. But to set up the bot is like just one click. Get some fun on the bot, and it's is ready to play basically.
Absolutely, very easy experience. Another question Alex asks, of course, everybody knows that Telegram has its own built-in blockchain named Telegram Open Network called Tom. It's been widely announced, but you have chosen Blast and Telegram. Looks like first from a controversy from first sight. Why I'm using Ton blockchain? Why have you combined Blast blockchain with Telegram interface? Could you elaborate this now, please?
Yeah, that's a good point. Ton, I think Ton is very interesting as a blockchain. I mean, it makes sense on Telegram, and they have like a massive crypto user base, friendly user base. But no, we wanted to go on Blast mostly because we believe in Blast from the beginning. I think the opportunity on Blast is quite good. Like I mentioned, we are one of the first team to build on this chain for different reasons, because we believe in Pac-Man vision, because we knew that the incentive program will be like a massive success. We knew what to expect in building on this new ecosystem. We have an eye on the Ton blockchain, to be honest. We've been in touch with some of the team members there. But for now, it makes sense in terms of markets, in terms of branding, etc., to stay focused on Blast. Maybe we will explore this possibility depending on market condition, etc. But no, we really believe that Blast is going to be one of the major layer 2 of Ethereum. It's already becoming the case. So yeah, we're focusing on Blast right now.
Well, could you share your plans till the end of 2024? What you expect from Tornado BlastBot, if you have plans about your roadmap? So what do you want to say about that?
Yeah, so right now, until now, we basically worked on like a very stable bot, keeping out on competition, etc. Now it's how we get better than everyone else. So that come up with like new features, automation of trading. We have this token launcher coming up very soon. But our vision, short-term vision is going to be short-term vision is going to be like basically making sure that we stay the first bots on the chain. Launching the token, getting onboarding as many users as possible, etc. But that's going to be basically adding more features, making sure that we stay relevant in the bot industry, and down the line maybe explore some chain, but that's not on the agenda right now. But yeah, just keep growing the brand, keep growing the user base, making sure that we build what user wants, and then that's going to be a lot of work.
Well, what do you expect from Blast ecosystem? Which features, regardless of airdrop, we have already announced that, everybody understands, but what are expectations? How do you see the development of this chain in future periods? Any questions for Blast? Maybe Blast guys will be watching this meetup. Maybe you have the great opportunity to, I don't know, do you have the right connection with them, direct connection? But nonetheless, publicly announce the question. So, hey, Blast guys, why didn't you do that? Or why have you done that?
I think so far, I think so far they've been doing like quite a good job at building an ecosystem, because like keep in mind they announced in November, December, so just a couple of months ago. And in terms of tooling, in terms of user base, in terms of TVL, they're already one of the largest layer 2. So, I mean, they're delaying the token launch a little bit. They have some issue here and there. But if you look at the big picture, like in just such a short time frame, they already achieved like so much. I think next going to be like, how do they envision Blast without the incentive program? Because I know the incentive program is going to run for quite some time. We expect it as we saw it on Blur. So it's gonna last some time. But yeah, what's gonna be next after this incentive program is gonna run out? Because like they will distribute all the tokens at some point. So that's the major interrogation that a lot of people are having right now. Maybe the size will be good enough to have like to retain users. That will be my main question. But personally, the vision of Blast I have is basically they're gonna run some incentive program like this, and the same way they achieve TVL, user base, etc. Once they get big enough, basically to live by themselves, and as a builder, of course we like the gold, we like the free money, etc. But we like user more. So we joined at first because the incentive program was here. But I think next builders and us gonna stay on the chain because there is a market, because there is a user base, etc. So I think that's how I see the future of Blast becoming big enough with good builders already on the chain, with liquidity, with users, and I think that's how you stay relevant with the time. And then pushing updates like technical updates, we'll have like a blob very soon, I think. The native yield is a good thing. I think all the chain, most of the chain is going to adopt this version because there's no reason to not adopt like native yield. The user experience will be great on the chain, getting yield, getting points, getting like just by doing what you will do on other chain. But yeah, my big question is going to be what's next after the massive incentive program.
Well, so Blast guys, this has been the public acknowledgement of what you have already done from Joseph, the founder of Tornado Blast, who is completely satisfied. I haven't discovered any dissatisfaction from his speech. Maybe you've done it. Let us know on that. So, Joe, thank you very much. Great, thanks for joining us today, sharing your thoughts. I think we've been friends, and I think we will receive sometimes feedback from you, and we'll help you to deliver. And please, Blast guys, remember his phrase. We love native yield, we love gold, but more than that, we like users. So user base is more valuable gold than native yield.
Definitely.
His phrase.
Definitely. So, thank you, Eugene. Thank you very much.
Have a great evening, and we are switching to the next speaker, and he is going to be our great guest named Zach from Ignite Finance. We did a podcast with Ignite Finance with another speaker, but nonetheless, these are all our friends. So Zach, if I do see you in our chat, you are with us. Please turn your video and turn your mic and let us see. Okay, you are with us. Hey, hello. Well, so the stage is yours. The stage is yours. Please share with us your thoughts, your thinkings, your pros and cons about Blast, about projects, so everything you find it worth for our community, for us to know we're going to Blast, you're going to your project. This is yours. Please rock, and then we will ask you your questions.
Sure thing. So hello, everyone. My name is Zach Prater, and I'm the head of business development behind Ignite Finance. I will say I'm not one of the biggest founders. I think that's probably Van, and he was unable to make it to this call, so I'm here. Hello, everyone. A quick overview of Ignite Finance is we're a decentralized exchange that's building on top of Blast. And that's probably the quickest overview. And I think that you're going to see a lot of decentralized exchanges pop up here and there. But the biggest difference between Ignite Finance and a lot of other DEXs is our approach to actual innovation. A lot of different DEXs, you can see that they're just forks from previous DEXs. Forks from Uniswap, forks from PancakeSwap, forks from the Camelot DEX, and so on. And our approach was just kind of think differently than a lot of these forks. Whenever you build a platform, it's not about forking existing open source and then just adding a few features on top of that. It's actually seeing the existing tech behind that open source fork and making sure that it's a lot better. So what we've done with Ignite Finance is we've kind of looked at a lot of different user feedback from a lot of different dexes. We've looked at a lot of features that are trendy in the market, and we're just kind of thinking about how to actually implement that on a dex itself. And there's a few features that we're currently working on implementing, such as a DCA solution on a DEX, allowing users to just slowly DCA into their favorite tokens on a decentralized exchange versus a centralized exchange. We're allowing people to have nitro pools, which provides liquidity incentives to liquidity providers to actually launch their own pools and launch their own tokens. We're trying to focus on different escrow tokens to where we can have different escrow contracts to where you don't need to be a coder. You can just set up your own escrow contract yourself, all from the same platform. We're trying to add a different launchpad. We're just trying to add a whole bunch of different features onto the same existing infrastructure that everyone's currently playing around with. And that's probably the funnest overview of Ignite Finance, yeah. Is the host also on stage? Are there any questions?
Oh, it's been very shortly, I didn't expect. Well, I kindly encourage you guys to ask questions. When the speaker speaks shortly, this means for me that he thinks very clearly without different imaginations, properly and clearly. And the project which he has founded might have been the same. Well, we've got the first question from Alex, DAO Envelop Genesis member. He asks, if you choose one killer feature of Ignite Finance, what it would be and why?
So right now it's the DCA solution, and it's allowing users to actually dollar cost average into their favorite tokens without necessarily having to use a centralized exchange. And right now in decentralized exchanges, the biggest problem is the fact that you do one order, you do another order, you do another order, and you pay 3 different fees for all those different orders. With the idea of the DCA feature, you'd be paying one exact fee to actually DCA over a period of time in your favorite token. And this was an idea that came to us at a hackathon that we did. We built a lot around it, and we're looking forward to implementing it soon. But it's something that's currently not seen on any decentralized exchange. It's not seen on most centralized exchanges, and we just kind of wanted to provide a unique feature to do this and restructure the actual fee, the fee structure that's seen on a lot of different exchanges. So hopefully it's a good answer. But I will admit, I'm sorry that my answers are really fast. I'm a hackathon guy. I've done over 27 hackathons. I've pitched a lot of different projects, so I'm very fast, very quick to the point. So, yeah.
So this is a sort of professional defamation. So you have 30 or 60 seconds for a pitch, and time is started, and pitch is made. Okay, I love this. No. So, how completely are you generally satisfied with Blast or not satisfied? Which are pros and cons? What would you suggest for Blast guys maybe to add, to implement in the future? How do you see the development of its ecosystem? So any suggestions for Blast team who will be listening carefully?
Yeah, I'd say that the Blast ecosystem is actually really unique. There's a lot of different DEXs and different DeFi applications that are launching in Blast just for the fee structures and fee rewards that are coming to the Blast ecosystem. I think probably the biggest thing that the Blast ecosystem has that most other ecosystems don't is Blast goals, their fee structure to where they're actually rewarding users for playing, and then the fact that they're EVM compatible. I think that there was a question comparing Blast to TON with the Telegram network, and it's just the aspects that if you build on TON, it's really difficult to actually restructure your entire application and then deploy it to an EVM. Versus if you start on Blast and you build on that EVM, you can deploy to Optimism, to Polygon, to Arbitrum, to a whole bunch of different networks, and you can still stay within the Blast ecosystem itself. Blast kind of just allows you to actually function to as many different networks that you want without really being compromised.
Yeah, when you were choosing chains for building from EVM, if I don't understand, did you choose between Blast and other EVM chains, or you had chosen from the first side Blast and didn't even consider any other EVM chains then?
So I've probably built a DApp on almost every chain. I pride myself in that, but you can honestly thank the ETH Global Hackathons for that. They've got some pretty good prizes. We did consider other chains, but whenever you're considering other chains for this fee structure, there's almost no chains like Blast, because the fee structure itself, fees on Polygon go straight to the Polygon Foundation. Fees on Optimism, they have a shared sequencer for that, so that goes to the Optimism Foundation. Same thing for Arbitrum, same for a lot of other foundations. And with Blast, a lot of the fees go back to the users. And that's something that's almost revolutionary, because no one considered, hey, let's give the rewards back to the people that are using the app. Everyone's just thought, let's keep it for ourselves. And I think that for DEXs specifically, you see things such as Uniswap is considered changing their fee structure to where they're more of a corporate entity than a decentralized exchange. And with Blast, not only do we have higher fees, but we have higher revenue, we have higher income, and that goes either back to ourselves or back to the users. So we really just kind of stuck with Blast. I think in the future we'll be looking for other ones, but Blast is the way to go for now.
Well, if you remember, Joseph, for the previous speaker, said that they love user base like real gold and Blast more than native yield and Blast. Do you agree with him? Do you value user base more than native yield, or native yield more than user base? What are general thoughts, general knowledge on that?
I think that there's going to be a difference in opinion on this. Whenever in the previous they talked about user base, it was user base of meme coins. And whenever you talk about actual native yield, that's native yields of long-term investors. So it's just a question of, do you want temporary users or do you want long-term users and long-term investors? And I think that depends on what is actually available on the platform itself. For Ignite Finance, we're also allowing people to launch their own coins, launch their own liquidity pools, do anything without coding itself, but we're also allowing people to do native yields. So we're trying to be the best of both markets. Whenever that's going to be very hard to do. I think that we'll see a lot of different platforms such as Pump Fun, to where they focus solely on the temporary holder, or DEX tools, to where they focus solely on the temporary holder, versus a lot of different things such as Aave, to where they focus on long-term holders, towards people holding for years and years, if not months on top of that. So we're going to hopefully focus on both, but I'd say Jacob is absolutely correct in his assumption. I think it just depends on which platform makes the most sense.
Okay, definitely. So I think, Alex, we have already answered about, by the way, Alex said that Zach is his favorite speaker, his favorite one. All speakers are right here. So why Blast is main? So Zach has already answered why I mentioned Blast. The next question comes from our professional user and true Envelop fan, Rostislav, who meticulously investigated your Medium and quotes your Medium. So he asks, you stated, guys, Ignite Finance, stated on your Medium, quotation, quote, the primary goals of Ignite Finance include the development of a native DEX on the Blast platform, bolded with zero swap fees for small transactions, end quote. Could you please ask Rostislav specify the range for transaction amount with zero swap fees? Here's the question. What will we answer?
Yeah, so currently the range around is any transactions that are underneath 250. And this is kind of to focus on the short-term holder versus the long-term holder. A lot of times whenever you think about short-term holders, they're typically people ranging from the price point of $5 to $500. And they typically trade very fast, very quickly. And they're paying fees every time that they buy and every time that they sell. And if anything, there's some tokens that have additional fees on top of that. So we wanted to allow people to be able to buy and sell on relatively small amounts without paying aggressive fees for doing so. We'll still cater to the long-term holder by having different investment products on our platform of Ignite. But the actual short-term and zero swap fees for small transactions is focused on 250 and under, and that's more for the actual smaller trader and smaller holder.
Well, you said, Zach, that you are a hackathon guy. You love hackathons.
Yeah.
May I ask you, why do you still love this kind of participation? in Web3? Because there are a lot of activities in Web3 space. Why hackathons?
Yeah, so the reason why hackathons, and I'll give you a really fun example of this. My first hackathon I organized at MIT in 2021. This was the first one that I organized, not the first one I participated in. And there was a really smart developer. I can't think of his name off the top of my head now, but I'm sure that you've heard of the AI agent platform that made Devin. And
Definitely.
Devin was created at this hackathon. And it was absolutely insane to me to think I met this guy, and within a period of, I think it was 15 months, it went from hackathon idea to 500 million fundraising round. And now they're valued about 2.7 billion. And so it's the fact that we're building products, we're building platforms. And instead of talking to finance gurus about, hey, why do you like Polygon? Why do you like Optimism? Why do you like Arbitrum? It's talking with developers and saying, hey, is the tech really there? Or are they just very good at marketing?
Definitely. So you are actually those guys. So I love that we have so qualified speakers on. It could have been otherwise. I think, yes, we are great guys. We can contribute to the ecosystem. Why not to have the smartest guy in the room as our speakers? Well, I was like, let me look into the chat for other questions. No, I don't see any questions. So could you please share your plans, what to expect from Ignite Finance till the end of this year, briefly about your roadmap?
Sure thing. So I will say we're going to keep building. We're going to be focusing on not only building the platform out, but building out the user experience and user interface. I think there's a laundry list of different features that our users in our community has kind of said that this would be interesting for us to do. But some things for you to look forward to in Q3, we're focusing on doing our public sale to where you can actually purchase our token and actually get rewarded for all the transactions that happen on Ignite Finance. So Q3, focus on public sale. You're actually going to be able to play around with the platform itself. In Q4, I believe that every aspect of the platform will be public for people to play with. You're going to have your DAO launch. You're going to have your token launch. You're going to have every single exchange that you could want to be able to participate in. So Q3, token launch. Q4, platform MVP and finality. Yeah.
Well, what's the best way to follow, where to follow Ignite Finance, and how to join, how to start exchanging to these primary?
We have a Discord community with about 34,000 people in there. It's very active. You'll see myself and you'll see the main founder Van in there almost every single day. I'll drop the link in our Telegram chat, but that's probably the best way to actually find us. We are on Twitter, also known as X, but I will admit I'm not the best at tweeting. So find me on Discord. That's probably a lot better. Or if you're attending Consensus in Austin at the end of this month, I'll be there. If you're attending ETH Global Brussels, the hackathon, I'll be there as well. So you'll just find me at almost any industry hackathon event.
Well, so the best way to find Zach is to visit any qualified Web3 hackathon, whatever.
Yeah.
Well. So, okay, I think we gotten the main point. Any final thoughts, any suggestions, any wishes to Blast team, who I am sure will be reviewing this meetup? Maybe you want to wish, I don't know, if you have a direct connection with these guys, perhaps your developers, just write to one to another and just simple Telegram. I don't know how directly I can connect it. Any wishes to Blast developers team and Blast community as well, so publicly?
I'd say just keep building, just keep doing what you're doing, and don't pay attention to others, don't pay attention to Polygon, pay attention to Blast, building, and yeah, y'all are doing great. Probably try to think of puns and memes. I like memes.
Well, you don't like Polygon, as I mentioned. Have I mentioned you carefully? Why so? I don't say but not.
It's just the aspect of innovation. You really see different products such as Espresso or Tond that was mentioned previously, or even Blast itself, just actually innovate on the previous infrastructure. you don't really see much innovation from a lot of the previous biggest winners. You just see them just know that they're successful already. I even think that after Blast launches their token itself, I think we'll see a massive amount of innovation on how they actually change the fee structure to keep users there. So just keep innovating, just keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, keep building.
Absolutely, the true advice and recommendation from the guy who has been building all his serious grown-up life as Zach from Ignite Finance. Thank you very much, Zach, for joining us today. You're an amazing speaker. I do understand why Alex loves you, keeps you as a favorite speaker. I think we'll have good connections in the future because we have been friends, but you will be following your success. So, guys, please follow Ignite Finance, use it, and keep remember that Zach was our speaker today. So, thank you very much, Zach.
Of course. Thank you all so much for having me. I'll see you
Bye-bye.
later.
Have a good day. Have a good day. And we are sort of getting ahead of our time schedule. And please, duo from Blast Futures, if you are here and if you are
hello.
perhaps ready, okay, are you ready to jump in the conversation 10 minutes earlier than you've been scheduled? If you are,
sure.
Okay,
sure.
just turn.
No worries.
We'll have more time to speak. Just turn your camera, turn your mic, and jump and give us your great thoughts on what do you think about Blast, your project values and ideas, and so on and so forth. And then after you will have finished your speech, we will take a Q&A session. So.
Yep. All right. Okay. Fantastic. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yes, we are hearing. Would you like to turn your camera on, or you don't?
I am looking a little bit disheveled right now.
Okay, no problem. So let me turn off my camera.
Yeah.
Yes, we do hear you. Okay, so your stage is yours. Please talk. Anything you want to say?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. So so first of all, like thanks for hosting the space. I think it's fantastic. Now that like everyone's been building on Blast for quite a while now, to just sort of sit back and see what everyone else is doing. And yeah, I guess a little bit about myself. My name is Duo. I'm the head of BD and marketing for Blast Futures, and unlike some of you other gigabrains in here, I have no idea how to code. It's something that like every time things get remotely technical, my brain switches off, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna pass this on to the rest of the team. But nonetheless, I have been in the space for a long time, and just very, very stoked to be here sharing with you guys a little bit about BFX. So initially we came to Blast just sort of very, very sold on the idea of just a layer 2 with native yield. It's as far as sort of the calculus you present to a trader goes, it's a bit of a no-brainer that, hey, if the money that I've just left on the exchange is collecting 10% yield a year versus collecting dust everywhere else, it makes a lot of sense, and it's definitely a point of differentiation that I think, especially once time goes on, will eventually show its sort of will show its strength. And well, that's what we came for, and then we stayed for essentially the masterclass that Pac-Man has sort of shown us around how to design a really, really solid airdrop and how to use those airdrop incentives to really cement a very, very strong ecosystem. Like Blast right now is looking like a very, very mature ecosystem, with like numbers of dApps building on here that sort of, other chains that have been around for months and years, it took them that long to achieve. And it's just been sort of like a pleasure being able to sort of leverage Blast's just very strong resources around its airdrop and how well they've done it, to sort of as sort of like a playing field, as sort of like a playground to see, okay, how can we use that to then incentivize our users? So yeah, so that's pretty much sort of our thoughts on the Blast ecosystem so far. And in terms of what BFX is doing, essentially, yep, we're a perps DEX, and we just aim to give the smoothest trading experience, lowest fees, and a really good vault to boot, that automatically, so all user deposits into our what we call our DMM vault, dynamic AMM vault. All user deposits in that gets used to essentially market make for our exchange, which means on one end you have a very solid exchange, and on the other end we have a vault that basically takes the money from market makers, which is usually providing the liquidity on most exchanges. We're taking the profits that market makers would otherwise be earning, and then sharing that with our community, who choose to stake in the vault. And yeah, and that's sort of, it's gotten off to a brilliant start in our opinion. And I think ultimately our goal is to give Hyperliquid a run for their money, because if we look in the perp DEX space, the sort of like the number one and number two spot is kind of like the spotlight is on DYDX and Hyperliquid. In our opinion, we think DYDX is just sort of riding off of the high that it had on the last cycle, and Hyperliquid has really come up over the last few months, and our goal eventually is to challenge them for that number one spot, and we think that Blast is a great home to be doing that from.
Well, am I correct that you have finished your talk, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let me look into, first of all, what's wrong with my, let me look into chats regarding questions. So guys, please don't hesitate to ask questions to Duo. I do see that we've got very short and clear thinking speakers today. They, like pitch guys, they don't understand the correctness and the importance of the timing. So if you finish earlier, that's better than if you are sort of late. That's a good way. Well, so question from Alex to Duo. So to Duo, first of all, you are not a developer. You don't know how to code, right?
Yep.
You are the marketing guys. We may discuss marketing questions on Web3. Okay, so let me start with a question from Alex to you. Do you plan to invent other derivatives or futures only? That's a professional question.
That is a very good question. So we've actually flirted with the idea of quite a few different derivatives. So for example, we had the idea of potentially inventing sort of like a derivatives market where you can trade points. So people can essentially speculate on the value of points and gold, for example, and then all of those futures markets would just be closed. Would have all the positions closed out once the points in gold actually materializes into tokens, and we actually know the correct price. That could be something to sort of explore right now, especially since the points meta is so strong in the crypto space, in terms of incentives. So yeah, like just we definitely have had sort of the freedom and the potential to sort of explore these ideas, but right now I think our main sort of focus is on getting our core product just sort of as smooth, as user friendly as possible, because we see sort of like the perp DEX narrative. It's not as sexy as it was in DeFi summer. So I think we've sort of decided to take the approach of, hey, instead of trying to invent something new and sexy, when the spotlight isn't necessarily on perpdexes, we should rather just focus on just doing what all the other perpdexes do, except better, and ultimately sort of letting the product speak with itself, and just sort of looking at which perpdexes are getting the most success right now. We think that that's the best way to go about things in the space.
Well, our user Rostislav asks you to clarify when you're saying futures, like a kind of derivatives. You mean perps, do you?
Yes. Futures. So BFX sounded better than BPX. So yeah, that's why we said that's why we decided to call ourselves Blast Futures Exchange. So yes, Blast. So futures as in a perpetuals contract, correct?
Okay. So what are plans till the end of the year? What to expect? And by the way, how to start using your service? What steps should anyone want to take to start using your service?
Yeah, sure. So I'll answer that question first. There's basically two ways to use our product. One is, if anyone wants to trade crypto on leverage, then BFX is the place to be. We have recently listed our 40th market, PACMU, and yeah, just basically I'll provide all the relevant links in the call afterward, and then basically you come in, deposit some USDB, and you can start trading. It's simple as pie. So that's the first part, and then the second part would be if you want to deposit into our DMM vault. Then we also have that staking feature where you deposit USDB into our vault, and then that money is then used by our automated market maker to place asks and bids on our order book, and to essentially market make, and any profit that that market making generates then goes back to the people who have deposited in the vault.
Okay, great. Thanks for your answer. Another question from Alex, DAO Envelop Genius member. He asks why Blast suits the best for BFX products. Do you have difficulties with while building? So you do understand the question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. So I think while building, we have. I wouldn't say that building on Blast has caused any I guess difficulties in building that we wouldn't encounter elsewhere. And like that's just sort of like the typical the typical suite of issues that any dev team will eventually face. So in terms of Blast being very solid for BFX product, well, it's once again the native yield component of Blast just makes a lot of sense because for a vault, it means that any amount of funds that you put in there, on top of the very nice yields that our DMM vault generates, which right now is around, I believe, around 25% APY. On top of that, you also get 10% for absolutely nothing. And same with your trading balance. If so, any funds that are currently in our exchange, that you are trading with, but isn't being used to actively margin a position, that's also collecting native yield. So essentially, an exchange is where a lot of people park a lot of money, and it makes sense for that money to be compounding, well, for absolutely nothing. So yeah, so that's why we think Blast makes a lot of sense.
Well, I think, as I see your colleague Jan has dropped a link to BFX.trade. Am I getting right that start using BFX trade, we to follow this link and do whatever it asks us to do?
Yeah. So that link takes you straight to our straight to our website. And you just, if anyone wants to have a play around, connect a wallet, deposit USDB, you are good to go. Yeah. So I see the question. In which way do you avoid / fix the fragmentation? Right. Yeah. I just want to clarify. What do you mean exactly by liquidity fragmentation?
Rostislav, please clarify if you can question what is liquidity fragmentation? This is the controversial, not so understandable, easy understandable term. I'm not a specialist in this trading options and features at all, but let us hope that our viewers are more experienced. Well, while Rostislav is, he has clarified, I mean, order book based perpetual DEX often have shallow liquidity.
Yes. Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So it depends on the market. There are probably three main ways that we provide extremely deep liquidity, probably the best on Blast, and really high up there across all of the crypto DEXs. Number one is our DMM vaults have an incredible amount of capital efficiency. So for example, the other vault that is often used by perp DEXs to provide liquidity to their books is would be Elixirs. Would be Elixir vaults, and DMM is about 100 times more efficient than Elixir's vault when it comes to taking the funds that are in the vaults and then putting them up as orders on an order book. And right now the DMM vault has around 20 million USDB in it, and yeah, and with that we're able to provide huge amounts of liquidity to most of the more larger cap markets like Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. I don't think you're going to find order books much deeper anywhere else. And for a while this week we actually had deeper liquidity on our books on Bitcoin than Binance had. So the DMM is essentially our sort of bread and butter in sort of providing a huge amount of liquidity to all the markets where there is a big demand for it, and also we have a lot of control over it too. So for example, if hey, we see a lot of traders that say let's say WIF decides to pump 20-30% in a day, and suddenly traders are trading gigantic clips on WIF, then we can just very quickly just turn up the liquidity that the DMM allocates to that market. So that's the first thing. The second part would be the fact that our our sister exchange RabbitX, we're able to essentially use user in-house tech that allows our order books to sync up with each other. So us and RabbitX, we share the same order book, and by doing that, so RabbitX has some more traditional market makers on it, providing liquidity. So any sort of shortcomings in the DMM can be patched up by the sort of the manual sort of market maker, not manual market makers, but the more traditional market makers on the RabbitX end of things, and this sort of this fixes one of the sort of I suppose issues that that Hyperliquid has, because their entire exchange has liquidity provided to it by the Hyperliquid vaults. So if anything happens, that's why you get those gigantic scam wicks. For us, we don't have that issue because yeah, if there is sort of like a momentary lapse in the DMM, any of that ends up being swallowed up by the traditional market makers. And finally, for longer tail assets, so for example, PAC. For example, it's very volatile. It has a very small market cap, and therefore, you know, providing liquidity to it from a market maker's perspective is very, very scary. So this is another sort of big benefit of building on blocks. Well, hey, look, like there's all these blast points and blast gold lying around. We're able to incentivize people to essentially place a bunch of limit orders on the PAC market and reward those users for placing that, and that's how we can then once again selectively supplement certain markets with liquidity that market makers would may deem too risky.
Well, great answer. I just think that you pretty love your job, not less that you are not a developer. Yeah, a lot of speakers are also developers. And I love to talk to marketers in Web3. May I ask you a question beyond the scope of today's conversation regarding marketing and Web3. How do you see in general, how it differs from marketing in traditional, let's say, Web2 or even non-web initiative? And how to become a good marketer or a good CMO in Web3? This is the most painful question that I've ever met, talking with everyone in Web3. So find a good CMO is perhaps the most hardest task to find the great developer, but how to be a good CMO, for your recommendations and your advices for all who are involved in Web3 marketing in any projects.
Yeah. That's a great question, and I like to think that at the end of the day, like marketing is all about capturing mind share, it's about capturing mind share, capturing social capital, and that leads to sort of more confidence from bigger players to deploy the capital on your platform. The main difference, I think, in Web3 is you can be as creative as you want, you can be as provocative as you want, and unless if you have a very, very backward team, which isn't the case for 99.99% of protocols out there, as long as you can capture people's attention, it's like you have done your job. That's the pro, and I think the con is, as a result of that, there is a huge amount of noise, and you have to sort of cut through all of that noise with something that has enough substance, but at the same time is also out there enough to get people's attention. So yeah, I find it a very interesting sort of balancing act. I spend like hours on Twitter every single day, just slowly soaking it up, and also like the hottest narrative, the wins, all of these can just it can blow in one direction today and a totally different one tomorrow, and it really it rewards anyone who is plugged in and early. It's that is the case for developers, creating creating something that fills a particular need, the first to do it usually reaps the most rewards. For investment opportunities, if you're the first to get into to something great, then obviously you make the most money. And and I think that is also especially relevant. The latest meme, the one thing that everyone is talking about. That's how you capture the largest amount of mind share, the largest amount of social capital. So yeah, so that I think is what's different about about Web3 marketing, whereas Web2 marketing, sort of the playbook has been it's been around forever, and you essentially just do what everyone else is doing, and you're pretty much fine. So that's what I would say the main difference is.
Definitely, this is the field where everyone should, if everyone involved in Web3 marketing, it has to learn on an everyday basis. And by the way, last year I read a book by Amanda Cassatt, the famous Web3 marketer, which is called Web3 Marketing Book. I don't know if you are familiar with that. If you are, do you find this book completely useful or not completely, or not just this book, but learn from any source you may find from different good marketers, from all the stuff you may learn, because you are the qualified person.
So for me, I've read snippets. I've read snippets from it. But like for us and the book that I would recommend to any sort of marketer or even product guy, is the book Alchemy by Rory Sutherland. So Rory Sutherland was the vice chairman at Ogilvy, the very, very famous marketing company, and so like we at the office, we keep talking about, hey, we have to find the cucumber sandwich. We have to find the cucumber sandwich, and what the cucumber sandwich is. So in that book, one anecdote that he says is there's I forgot which airline it is, but anyways, this airline just spent hundreds of $millions upgrading all of their upgrading all of their jets. So it says that it spent this gigantic investment, and then their marketing team went and did a gigantic marketing campaign about like how the new jets that they upgraded to are faster, more fuel efficient, safer, blah 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 blah. And then it turned out that and then it barely boosted their sales at all.
Well, dude, I love the answer. I just see that you're completely devoted to your marketing job. I love to talk to people who are absolutely devoted. Amazing. We've delivered a great talk today, going far beyond Blast and programmable lessons and so on and so forth. So I'm very happy that we have you as a friend. I'm happy that we've had you as a speaker today. Thank you very much for your speech. We'll be following your success. This has been Duo from Blast Futures, link in the chat. So thank you very much and have a good day today. And we are slowly but inevitably switching to the next speaker who is already with us. She's Karen from MetaStreet. Karen, I see you are in the chat, so please, if you are ready, please turn on your video, turn on your mic, and join our conversation.
Hey,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do hear you. Would you like to turn the video to show your professional?
Yeah. I might have to leave the cameras off for now because I'm away from desktop and
okay.
on mobile.
No.
I'm usually doxxed and happy to share my face. But
no problem at all. So
the
stage is yours. 15 minutes of yours. Please deliver your speech. Then we'll ask the short Q&A. So we are listening to you very, very carefully because your thoughts are extremely valuable for us.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having us here. Really excited to share a little bit more information about MetaStreet. So by way of introduction, I lead growth and marketing at the project. MetaStreet is a NFT lending and yield infrastructure protocol. Our mission is to bring liquidity to e-liquid assets on chain and turn that liquidity into a unlocked yield opportunity for lenders. So think about not just NFTs, but also tokenized objects like luxury watches on chain, luxury bags, land. Think about points or gaming assets. All of those are non-fungible digital objects on chain that don't have the same sort of liquidity and DeFi infrastructure that fungible token trading has. And so MetaStreet aims to solve that challenge and allow people to lend to facilitate loans that are collateralized by these illiquid objects on chain and earn high, sometimes double-digit yields. And we're one of the our first use case has been in the NFT realm, and we're one of the biggest lenders for CryptoPunks and have supported over 200 million in lending since launch. And one of our innovations is from the lending side to being able to tokenize all of your loan positions into a tradable position. So if you lend, say, 1 ETH to a CryptoPunk loan, you get that loan position is turned into a token, an ERC20, that is yield bearing and that captures the kind of loan APR in it as well. So that as a lender, you can get secondary liquidity by swapping it back to ETH, leveraging your loan position to borrow more money, or shorting or longing the price action of this loan position. And yeah, so we're still innovating on many fronts with bringing liquidity and unlocking yield to liquid assets. We just wrapped up season 1 of our airdrop campaign and points farming campaign, and are about to enter season 2. And we were able to bring some of this kind of like tradable loan position, what we call liquid credit token innovation, to Blast. We actually launched a NFT collection on Blast as well that allows people to borrow up to 90% LTV with the NFT and use it to farm Blast Gold. And yeah, pretty stoked about just some of the partnerships that we've been able to strike up with some of the Blast native DEX and DeFi protocols to allow trading as well as liquidity for these loan positions and allowing the convergence of NFT and DeFi to come together some more. So that's sort of the TLDR, and we're cooking up some cool stuff for season 2. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Well, thank you for this. I love it. Yeah, we have super professional speakers. They all finish before the time ends. Okay, Karen. Let me dive into questions. Guys, don't hesitate to ask Karen questions using hashtag question in the chat, because we've already had 3 developers and 2 marketers. And I really am personally, I love to talk to marketers because they are sort of more humanitarian, so what, more emotional, so they about emotions with people. So Karen, why Blast? The general question, why MetaStreet should Blast? Did you consider other chains? Mm-hmm. If did, why have you Blast? So the general question, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we definitely are chain agnostic and want to be as multi-chain supportive as possible, but Blast just seemed like a really natural next step for the expansion of our product from mainnet, because there's just a very informed group of users on Blast. They're already NFT native because of the Blur background. They are very technical with understanding and farming different DeFi as well as like infra protocols too. And so we wanted to, because we do have a rather technical product that traverses both like DeFi and NFT. We felt like the Blast audience would kind of take up to our product a little bit more. And the points system and the Blast Gold system was just a really great way for us to identify product market fit, attract users, and then being able to collaborate with other protocols and dApps that we're building on Blast, and being able to share these incentives together and design different quests together really was just like an option that was a sort of like go-to-market that not a lot of other ecosystems were offering. So I really give credit to Blast for really jump-starting this collaborative and also like fulsome development of the ecosystem with day one launch of mainnet. And so like on Blast, we're partnered with nearly a dozen partners, ranging from SocialFi to NFT marketplaces to spot dexes or even perps trading platforms. And all of this was possible because like Blast incentivized just us to share points with the end user and like architect different quests. So yeah, it's been really fun building on Blast so far.
Great. Considering that's what about NFTs, some developers about NFTs, MetaStreet about NFT lending, would it be accurate to say that Blast Layer 2 is not worse chain, which is not worse for NFT related project than other EVM chains, or more, maybe even better, or maybe the best? Do you have any thoughts on that, like a marketing lady, not a developer?
Yeah, I think beyond the incentives for token farming, Blast, the native yield built in for any holder of assets on Blast makes it just attractive for people to come on. And so like I think that even if you're not interacting with MetaStreet, just by virtue of holding ETH on Blast, you're earning 3 to 4% on that. So I think when you have that as an ecosystem to choose against, other ecosystems that require you to bridge and might not have like a clear timeline on token farming, might not have the native yield, or that's almost guaranteed of 3 to 4%. I think Blast is definitely a pretty attractive proposition. I think as far as just like fees and speed of transactions, Blast is pretty on par with some of the other layer 2s as well, although I'm sure there could be rooms for improvement. But yeah, I think they've done a really good job of attracting users. I think since I last checked, there's about 1 million or so connected wallets to Blast and active users, and over 2 billion in TVL, and I think those numbers speak to the market's receptiveness to Blast as a chain.
Definitely, these clever guys have completely done something unique in the Web3 ecosystem. That's why we have dedicated all the Meetup to this ecosystem. Very, very narrow-ish. So we've got 2 questions from our viewers. The first question for you, Karen, from Alex Yudagubov, Gene's memory of DAO Envelop. Liquidity to non-liquid assets as real goods, you mentioned. You mentioned liquidity to non-liquid assets as real goods. How do you control the real objects? Do you have a kind of custody, asks Alex. You got the question?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that, Alexander. So in answer to that, we are definitely a downstream experience for, what I view as a market that still needs to like familiarize and adopt real world assets or real assets on illiquid assets on chain. And so we don't deal with the custodying. Usually it's marketplaces or other dApps that deal with the authentication, the verification, and the safekeeping of these assets. We're sort of kind of like the next stage, which is really, after you've done all that, what we provide is financing and structuring for loans. So when those assets come on chain in a verifiable and trusted way, we provide, an avenue for you to borrow against it. And so, yeah, I think for some verticals like NFTs, there's a little bit more market acceptance and practice around, custody or pricing. But maybe for some more edge case, real assets like land or even watches, that is still being figured out by a lot of different players in the ecosystem. Partners that we're definitely talking to, like Fabrica Land, or on the land side, or watches, or other builders too, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff, trying to like solve that problem and bring more adoption of real world assets on chain.
Good answer. Thank you. And the final question from Rastislav: do you use price oracles for a loan to value limits?
Yeah, so that's also a great question. We really pride ourselves on building a protocol that is permissionless, and so we actually don't have price oracles. The pricing, the loan to value limits are set by the lender or the borrower, and if it kind of meets the expectations, the loan is executed. But yeah, for some of the NFTs, we've kind of set directional loan to value ratios. So for like CryptoPunks, we've set kind of more high yield, slightly higher risk loan to value ratio of like 80%, and then there's a lower risk but lower yield, and what we call a lower tranche of like around like 50% of the loan to value, and then we set that as like a directional guideline, but it's also up to the market, and it's flexible to ultimately to the lender to determine what LTV they're comfortable with. So it's a completely permissionless protocol.
Okay, we've got you. So, Karen, finally, do you have any final thoughts or suggestions or recommendations for Blast team? We hope these guys will be careful listening to what they clients. I don't know. Is it fair to say that you are clients of Blast? Okay, builders and Blast were sort of clients and partners, but free contributors, they will listen to that. Do you have any thoughts, ideas, wishes for them right now in the end of your amazing, brilliant speech?
Sarah, just so that I understand the question correctly, is it just asking for any like final comments or feedback around building on Blast?
Definitely. So imagine that Blast guys are listening to you carefully right now. So you may say, guys from Blast, we would like you to do X, Y, Z, or we don't like to do X, Y, Z. So we are builders on your ecosystem. Final thoughts, wishes, recommendations for this Blast ecosystem, guys.
Yeah, I think right now we're pretty happy with building on Blast and the various incentives that has forced us to be creative around thinking about how do we genuinely attract users and like that, like quality contributors to our protocol. So I would say kudos to you for designing that. And yeah, I think as far as feedback, it was more related to the initial days of getting on mainnet and getting clear, like having a sufficient enough of a timeline to test our contract on mainnet, and we were given like I think less than a week to figure that out. And so probably in the next instance of any upgrades, definitely working more closely with the protocol to figure that out. But yeah, I think it's been a really rewarding experience building on Blast so far.
Great. If you're not against that, we have got the bonus question for you from Rostislav. Question number 2. Given the value of the collateral NFT declines and the borrower defaults, first, do the lenders bear the loss pro rata, or second point, do the greater amount lender bears the loss first? You may see the question right in the chat. It seems quite sophisticated, but if you have the answer, you may answer.
Yeah, I see the question, and I think that's really great. And Rostislav, if you have any further questions, feel free to DM me about the protocol, or I invite you to play around with it as well. But in the event of defaults, we actually don't have instant liquidations like other lending protocols. We actually put the collateralized assets into auction, and the asset goes into a public auction phase, and the proceeds from the auction goes into returning funds to people in the lower tranche first, and then so people who deposit it into the lower risk, lower yield, and then into the higher risk, higher yield afterwards, if there's any leftover from the auction proceeds. And then if there's even more leftover from the auction proceeds, that amount is returned to actually the borrower. But yeah, in the event of a default to the lender who has deposited into the higher tranche bears the loss first over the lender in the lower risk tranche.
Well. So thank you very much, Karen, for extremely professional answers and your passion. That's rare to me. It's so professional marketer who was so devoted to Web3, because Web3 is a rapidly growing and extremely quickly growing space, which, from my point of view, may eat and swallow everyone who wants to participate in this amazing and borderless and permissionless, like Karen already said, realm. Thank you very much for being with us today. I hope we will be following your success on the MetaStreet, and have a good day. And while we are waiting for the next speaker, who is going to be Conor from Blitz, who have already been on our podcast. Conor, have you finished your call? Are you ready to join us, or we need for a couple of minutes for make some announcements?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, amazing, brilliant. So, guys, help me welcome the final speaker of today's Blast Meetup. He's Conor from Blitz. Conor, if you want to turn your camera on, you may do this. If you don't want, just give us your powerful voice and deliver your speech. Share between speech and Q&A session. So the stage is yours. Please go ahead, and we are carefully listening, because your thoughts are extremely valuable for us today, like the thoughts of all the speakers who've been building the Blast recent months.
Well, thanks, Eugene. I'll probably keep the video off just because I have not showered for a little bit, but
no problem.
That's the nature of building. So yeah, I'll do a quick intro, but I'd like to spend as much time as possible answering people's questions. But my name's Conor. I've been working on Vertex, which is kind of like in the kind of the same umbrella for the last couple of years on the founding team over there, and just have recently switched over and moved my focus onto building Blitz on the Blast ecosystem. And so not sure how familiar the listeners are with Blitz, but Blitz is a highly performant order book that's that allows traders to trade perps and spot. It's cross-margined, and we are built on top of a product called Vertex Edge, which enables cross-chain liquidity. Yeah, I think best liquidity on Blitz or Blast right now for a lot of perp markets. So yeah, that's kind of the quick intro, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for your, you've been the shortest speaker ever. You know, all the speakers of today's meetup are completely short. They all ended before the time scale, and you are the shortest speakers. That's great. This means that we will have a lot of time for a question. Of course, our listeners, they've been familiar with Blitz because we did a podcast episode with Darius Tatabai from Blitz T. And Darius, you know Darius, who Darius is. So guys, don't hesitate to ask questions to Conor regarding Blitz, because Blitz are one of the first guys who appear in our YouTube channel. We need to know the details. And the general question for us, because why have you chosen Blast? Did you consider other EVM chains? And if you did, what were the pros and cons between Blast and other EVM chains?
Yeah, good question. So there's probably two reasons. So the first maybe is like the performance, and we think that the team behind Blast is technically very strong. It's a very performant chain, and to offer traders the best kind of UI UX, we have to pick chains that offer that. But then there's the whole kind of aspect of like giving back to the users of the chains and aligning incentives. And at Vertex, that's always been something that we've been very focused on as well. Like, as you can see with our staking program, stakers earn as the protocol grows and share in the fees. And so really at Blitz, it just made sense that Blast was going to be one at like the home, because we feel that Blitz will align incentives and the growth of the exchange with its users as well, which is exactly what Blast does. So hopefully that answers your questions.
Yeah, definitely. Are you in general satisfied with Blast in whole? How do you see the development of this ecosystem? These guys build something sophisticated and amazing, because everybody, I haven't met someone who considered that the Blast is the worst chain ever created. Nobody is thinking so. But maybe you've met some guys. What are general feelings how these guys will be developing this their ecosystem?
Sorry, I don't know if I fully understood the question.
I wanted to say, okay, let me ask you, and finally, because we have some questions from our participants. Alex asks you your favorite kill feature that makes you different from other platforms. What is the most killer feature of Blitz Exchange if to compare with other platforms?
Oh, good question. This one's hard to answer because it's hard to pick like a favorite feature. Often I think when people ask about this question, they're thinking more on like the interface, like the bells and whistles. But I think my favorite feature that Blitz offers is okay, I'm gonna cheat and say 3. So I think speed. So like we offer 5 to 10 millisecond kind of latency or trading, which is on par with the leading centralized exchanges. Cross margining. So if there's any traders in kind of the space right now that are interested in doing spreads, I believe Blitz is the only place that you can go and trade spreads by opening long and short positions on BTC, but then also, on ETH, and then also shorting or depositing wrapped ETH So the cross margin nature of the exchange is very interesting. And then, of course, which is like our most recent announcement, is like actually the cross-chain liquidity. And so being able to tap into the liquidity that Edge has on other chains to bring that liquidity to Blast as well. That right now, this is only in the perp space, but you can also think about it, how we can maybe open this up with spot markets and how this can give traders on other chains access to Blast native tokens, spot tokens as well.
Well, imagine that Blast ecosystem guys are now behind you and listening to you carefully. What would you suggest them, or we should recommend to add or not to add, to do or not to do? So just like direct suggestions to Blast builders community. What would be your suggestions?
That's a hard one. I think it's a very exciting time right now in the Blast ecosystem, and they're also very young and new. So I don't really have anything specific. I think one kind of advice or something, maybe I'm just biased and I'd enjoy this, but to host like a conference or a meetup or more events, that'd be cool. So we can get together as teams building in the space and find ways to work together.
Well, just keep building and not just go about the community. What to expect from Blitz till the end of 2024? What are the next stage of your roadmap is going to be?
Yeah, so one of our main focuses is going to be actually adding more Blast native tokens to the platform as spot markets. So that's kind of like, that will be one of our main focuses. Another focus will be a season 2 of our Blitz points program. And so finding different ways to introduce users to the platform through the incentives and giving more ways to earn. We also want to run some fun kind of campaigns such as trading competitions. We also just launched perp indexes, if anyone saw that, but maybe also launching a lot more perp markets. And we're also exploring new trading products. So one, a little bit of alpha could be like, or giving users easy ways to open and close spread positions, which is unique to Blitz. And then also maybe some options trading as well.
Well, okay, great to hear. Great to hear this such an answer. Well, let me check our chats regarding questions. I think we have already answered. Well, let me ask you, how to start using Blitz? What steps should one to undertake, where to go, what to do?
Nice question. So it's very, very easy. All you do is you go to blitz.exchange, which is the website. The actual app is app.blitzexchange. And then throughout the website, all you need to do is just press on that deposit button, which you can see in your wallet or on the portfolio. Select what asset you want to deposit. Right now, USDB and wrapped ETH are supported. And deposit, and you can start trading. And
very simple.
Another nice part about Blitz and like our design is that I don't know how familiar everyone is with the design, but you can think
I'm familiar with. I love the design of Blitz. Really, really, I'm the fan.
Yeah, thanks. So like on the actual back end though, right? So we have an integrated money market. So when you deposit USDB or wrapped ETH to use as margin and collateral or just trade and hold, it's deposited into that money market, which automatically starts to earn a deposit APR. So you can think of it as like you're earning that deposit APR and you're able to use the USDB as margin or collateral. As we start to add more spot markets, Blast native tokens, the same will apply. And if we get enough kind of liquidity, or if a token does very well on Blast. There's nothing to say that we wouldn't explore actually giving that margin abilities as well. So you could think of maybe some of the leading protocols on Blast, users could use that as margin to trade perps.
Great answer. And final question for you comes from Rostislav. Sounds like, how does the off-chain sequencer, where vertex in parentheses, coupled with on-chain settlements to the local chain? I hope you do understand the question. What will be the answer?
Yeah, great question. So we run the off-chain sequencer is a Rust-based implementation of Arbitrum. All assets, when you deposit assets, are kept on-chain and non-custodial. So no matter what, and all trades settle on-chain. You can think about the sequencer as just this really high-performant order book that when you submit an order to the order book, it submits it there, and then orders are matched, and then once they're matched, submitted to the chain, and that's submitted to Arbitrum, or in this case, Blast. And I don't know if that kind of answers your question, but that's how it works.
I think it does. Nonetheless, if we'll have a more detailed question, we have an opportunity in every time in the future to ask our speakers directly, because we're all Telegram chat. So thank you very much, Conor, for joining us today and answer of the question regarding Blitz exchange. We wish you good success. Greetings to Dario, speaker who joined our podcast recently. And thank you very much for being with us today. Have a good day. And we are going to sum up, to wrap our hats, to finish our meetup right now. Please let me remind that find the link up. I will ask you guys, our tech team, please give us again the link for Google Form where to collect Blast addresses for receiving SBTs for those who can find it up to in messages. And let me finally announce some great details for everyone. We have finished our agenda, dear speakers and participants. So let me thank you again for coming here on this Blast Worm Cozy meetup, for sharing your thoughts and answers. I hope we have changed this crazy world a little for the better today. Let me thank DAO Envelop team for support and Mice for proof of event service. I believe this is how a real Web3 event must have been done and must look like. Please don't forget to provide your Blast wallet addresses for getting SBTs about this meetup into the link. Yeah, thank you, Alexander, for sharing the link. Again, we will publish the video recording of the meetup on the Envelop YouTube channel and share, I have its content in different forums, in text, tweets, and video, and the Blast community. So all the Blast guys and builders and project will see, I hope, this meetup, and will be grateful. We'll congratulate Blast guys for having built something unique into Web3, because every one from speakers said that they are absolutely satisfied. They've been satisfied, and nobody said that they are completely unsatisfied. I think that's the best proof for the results of building. Let every builder build the same great products with such good testimonials. So I think we will conduct the next meetup dedicated to Blast airdrop, which has been postponed to June 26, as Blast announced on their Twitter. So follow Envelop's Twitter and other resources. Join our community on Telegram chat. And let me say that since day one, our marketing team has been conducting research in the NFT realm of Web3 on an everyday basis. So we share results in the form of NFT news digest on daily basis on our Twitter or in the NFT 2.0 Telegram channel. So please follow if you haven't done already. And if you have no time to follow it on daily basis, in the end of every month, we put the main NFT news and advance from daily digest in monthly digests, which are long reads I absolutely love and strictly suggest you to read because they make you completely informed better than 90% of all NFT inhabitants that were free about the state of the art in NFT realm. These are valueless documents with endless value, I would say. So you can read them on our Medium, follow our Medium. It is completely useful resource for you. By the way, it will not be an exaggeration to say that there is no project regarding NFT 2.0 or on any popular chain that we would be unfamiliar with due to our everyday market research. Our team, perhaps the most experienced team into the realm of smart NFT at all on Web3. You can find the so experienced team. That's not a joke, that's a real truth. So we decided to make it easy for everyone to explore NFT segment, and we created NFT 2.0 aggregator for this purpose. It's easy to find it on the Envelop's website or point NFT 2.0 aggregator. More than 170 NFT 2.0 projects on all the chains have already been listed there. So use it for free. Also on this page, you will be able to find a free PDF with all the projects on Blast Layer 2, a short PDF ebook, not just NFT 2.0, but all the project on Blast. It's complete PDF short guide, so with links on the projects to download for free and use for great navigation into the Blast ecosystem. And if you want to get introduced into NFT 2.0 concept in general, how it works, click a button Books on the aggregator's page and download the free PDF ebook by Envelop, which is entitled Punk or Death, the Rising of NFT 2.0. It can serve as a complete guide in this segment of programmable assets, which we prefer to call smart NFT, and financial programmable NFT 2.0 are synonyms of this concept. It is extremely useful concept, and Envelop is the first ever protocol, wrapping protocol for creating such an NFT, and Envelop DAO, the first ever DAO or niche DAO dedicated to these programmable assets or smart NFT, whatever you name it. And finally, we're encouraging you to use Envelop decentralized applications on Blast for all the actions with smart NFT you may ever need for your purposes, starting from creation out of nothing, out from zero, adding collateral and use it in your project. And if you want to discuss an integration of smart NFTs into your specific project to make the life of your clients and users more useful with your project and their user experience more useful with the help of Envelop wrapping protocol, so feel free to contact us let us know, and we will set up a call to discuss the details. That is how this works. I hope you guys enjoyed this meetup. If anybody wants to add some final thoughts right there, some remarks or any suggestions, feel free to let me know, to take your mic on, to your video on, and to add your final thoughts. So Alex, Charaguba, if you have any additional thoughts, you may say some words to all the attendees. Alex, you're live.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that thanks to everyone who came, and it was a nice kind of friendly meeting on Blast chain, and that's wonderful that we gathered here, and we'll be glad to see everyone on the next meetup we will dedicate to airdrop of Blast closer to this date, and of course we will inform you. And yeah, it was nice to get your expertise and of course your energy and whole like here catching the belief and not just the belief but the real do's people execute every day to deliver Web3 and Web3 on Blast to the wide audience and to show why they need it and make that's comfortable for the common user to enter Web3 space. Thank you guys.
So let me conclude with the full satisfaction that today we've had extremely professional speakers. I absolutely love to talk to them, guys. Thank you very much to your speakers for coming there. We've had today Tornado Blast, Ignite Finance, Blast Futures, MetaStreet, and Blitz. And let's meet at the next online meetup dedicated to, as Alex already said, to Blast Airdrop, which is going to be held in June 26. We love airdrops because we love free gifts, free money, just because we love to develop an ecosystem to contribute, not just because we love free gifts. I have joked. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Wait for a publication of the recording of this meetup on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for updates. Give us your feedback in the Telegram chat. So you are the best developers. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Mice, guys, for proof of event. Don't forget to give us your addresses in Blast Wallet to receive SBTs as a proof of event, a proof that you have attended this meetup. Thank you very much for watching, listening, and bye-bye. I am stopping my talk and stopping meetup. Blockchain. B-L-O-C-K chain. Digital money, smart contracts, NFT, IDO, decentralization, transparency. So many opportunities, but so many challenges. Some financial manipulators, by their actions, confuse blockchain solutions and block their development. The idea that the blockchain should bring copyright and royalties protection to the next level is quite old, but the realizations of these ideas are not perfect at all. There is another problem of determining the value of a particular cryptocurrency or NFT. These and other problems need to be solved. Fortunately, the blockchain infrastructure is evolving. My name is E, Mr. E, and I represent the Envelop project. Many things have already been invented in the blockchain today. Tokens, smart contracts, platforms for creating your own coins, NFTs, exchanges for buying, selling, and exchanging all these blockchain resources. Envelop is another step in the development of crypto technologies. The protocol that works with NFT and cryptocurrencies. The idea is simple but disruptive. Let's assume you have an NFT, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Using the Envelop protocol, you can wrap the original NFT accompanied with several tokens. Technically, you get a similar NFT, but what is the breakthrough here? Once wrapped, the token has a number of additional features that were not available before. The minimal cost appears. It is provided with coins wrapped together with NFT. An asset wrapped with Envelop has a number of properties that allow the original author to receive royalties from the resale of that asset. Various rules can be applied to the wrapped token. For example, a lock period for unwrapping. It secures the asset till the determined moment or safeguards it from speculation during the hype period. At the same time, wrapped tokens can be transferred and traded. These are just some of the scenarios for using Envelop. NFTs become more popular, and the tools provided by Envelop expand the opportunities of NFTs utilization. Wide application possibilities are achieved due to the fact that, in addition to the protocol, the project includes a number of subsystems. The protocol provides functions wrapping and unwrapping. Oracle Mechanics provides asset valuation using analytical algorithms. Index provides a summary assessment of several NFT assets with the common criteria. The project has its own token, which connects all elements of the system. Altogether, this is Envelop, a tool in the blockchain world for building modern and secure systems in various fields. Find more info about the project on the website. Envelop. Make your NFT valuable. Just practical, no hype.